Oh yeah. Oh yeah, boys. Who remembers the Bammer? Bam Bigelow. What a badass in wrestling Bam Bigelow was. Wrestling Jesus. I saw your video yesterday and you made fun of me for talking about the earthquake and you made fun of me for talking about Lex Luger. Whatever. You know what, dude? This video is for this videos are for old school wrestling fans. It's not garbage. It's fun because I'm connected with my old school wrestling fans. So, in Dusty Rhodes' words, you can ride on another lightning bolt, wrestling Jesus. Anyways, Bam Bigelow. This guy was 360 pounds. He was big. He was strong. He was agile. One of the best big men wrestlers I had ever seen. Bam in the early 80s came up in Memphis, and he was just starting to get his feet wet in the world of professional wrestling. Came to the WWF in '87 as one of the top baby faces in wrestling, and actually went all the way to the last. He was the last guy versus Andre at the Survivor Series. And Andre eventually eliminated him, but still, Bam made a damn good showing that day at Survivor Series. So, Bam also enters the tournament at WrestleMania 4 versus One Man Gang. I mean, this was probably one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. I mean, him and the One Man Gang, Jerry White, I mean, they had no chemistry in the ring, and both of them, or Bam would wind up getting counted out. Bam was a big star in the WWF. I mean, he was way up there as one of the top baby faces and heels. So Bam spent some time in Japan in the early 90s with Big Van Vader. Then he goes back to the WWF. Wait, hold on. I got my history mixed up here. So he goes to Memphis, and then he goes to the NWA in the mid-'80s, and then he goes to the WWF. And then he goes to Japan, and then he comes back to the WWF, and this is where his most notable run comes in the WWF. And actually, main events of WrestleMania versus Lawrence Taylor. But there was something so funny that happened at WrestleMania 11, and this was even before the match. So let's go take a look. Salt and Peppa thought they were really cute, singing "Wham Bam, You're Gonna Get Slammed" at WrestleMania 11 at Hartford in April of '95. Wham Bam, You're Gonna Get Slammed. Let's see how Bam Bigelow answers to Salt and Peppa about Wham Bam, You're Gonna Get Slammed. Check this out. I think you're gonna like this. Check this out. Okay, so Salt and Peppa up there shaking their ass, looking real cute, making fun of Bam and all that stuff, and they were having a good old time at Bam's expense and putting Lawrence Taylor over, and Wham Bam, you're gonna get slammed and all that. Let's see how Bam takes to Salt and Peppa. Let's see how cute Salt and Peppa is when they're facing the man face to face. Bam Bigelow, and Lawrence Taylor. I think everyone will remember his WrestleMania 11. There's Kent Norton coming down on Team Lawrence Taylor. Bam Bigelow, I think everyone will remember his WrestleMania 11 thing with Lawrence Taylor. That was as high as he ever got in professional wrestling. Okay, so you see, this is all Lawrence. And Bam worked his whole life, for the main event spot at WrestleMania. And Lawrence Taylor just came in off the street virtually. Let's fast forward through the football players. I want to show you what Bam's going to do to the girls here in just a second if you haven't seen this in a while. Oh yeah, here he comes. Here comes Bam at WrestleMania 11 in the biggest match. Oh! He just scared the shit out of Salt and Peppa. He said, "You want to sing about Wham Bam? You want to get slammed?" Oh! He just scared the fuck out of him. Get him, Bammer. Yeah! Bam WrestleMania 11 main event, the last match, fighting LT. It don't get no bigger than that. Look at Bam. What a badass coming to the ring. Truly badass. Look at him. This was Bam as big as he ever got in wrestling. This was the Bammer right here. Cartwheel and everything. Let's talk a little more about WrestleMania 11. That was pretty badass. Right? Okay, so it all got started at the Royal Rumble 95. Bam Bam just lost the finals of the tag team tournament, and Bam Bam's pissed. And so Lawrence Taylor's out there poking fun at him and laughing at him, and so Bam Bam goes boom and gives Lawrence Taylor a huge shove and shoves Lawrence Taylor back, and eventually this builds up their WrestleMania 11 match between Bam Bam and Lawrence Taylor. Bam Bam was a true professional in this match. Lawrence Taylor honestly had no clue what he was doing in that ring. He had zero wrestling ability, zero talent, zero charisma in the ring. But, and quite frankly, Bam Bam could have hurt him really, really bad and maybe permanently. But Bam Bam was a professional in there, and Bam Bam took care of him as much as he could. Bam Bam still cracked his ribs, just for a little bit of good measure. But Bam Bam was a wrestler, not a football player. Bam Bam was a wrestler. Bam Bam spent his whole life wrestling, and he worked hard for that main event WrestleMania spot at WrestleMania 11, and that was as big as Bam Bam got, part of the $1 Million Corporation. And Bam Bam, he taught Lawrence Taylor and the other football players what it's like to be a professional wrestler, and some of the pain and some of the suffering and agony and stuff you go through as a professional wrestler. And Bam Bam taught Lawrence Taylor a little lesson right there. So that was a big moment in Bam Bam's career, was WrestleMania 11. It was actually quite huge. And they moved forward with Bam Bam after that event. He lost. Obviously, he did the honors to Lawrence Taylor. They paid Lawrence Taylor a lot of money, so they had him come out on top. But Bam Bam became a babyface in 95, and he tagged up with Diesel, King of the Ring. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. Bam Bam as a babyface in 95. It was a fail. Bam Bam kind of came and went. He was one of those wrestlers that was in and out of promotions. So he goes over to ECW and wrestled some great matches, memorable matches with Taz. The match where they fall through the ring and they did some different things. So Bam Bam moves forward. He goes to WCW in 98. And he feuds with Goldberg. And I actually had a chance to watch Goldberg and Bammer at Super Bowl 99 in Oakland. And it was a great match, and I loved Bam Bam. I thought he was awesome to see live. Bam Bam was actually one of the wrestlers that was on the first show I ever saw live in person in 1987. Bammer was around a long time. Great wrestler. Died way too young, 45. They found toxic levels of cocaine in his system. But Bammer was, honestly, he was a legend. He was someone who will be remembered. He was a guy who wasn't supposed to have that main event spot at WrestleMania 11, but he took it because he was awesome and he was fun to watch. He would do the cartwheels. Bam Bam was never the WWF champion or anything like that, but he was one of their damn big stars, and he was a damn good wrestler, and he died way too young. But I have a lot of respect for Bam Bigelow and his work in WCW with Goldberg and ECW and main event WrestleMania 11. Bam Bam was a good one, for sure. Good wrestler, real wrestler, one of the locker room leaders in the WWF and WCW and ECW. Bam Bam just died too young, man, 45. He had some problems, personal problems. When Bam Bam was 18 years old, he tattooed his head and became the arm wrestling heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, he was a legit badass. Former bounty hunter out of Asbury Park, New Jersey. A lot of respect for Bam Bam. I mean, if they put a fucking DVD out on Bam Bam, I would buy it tomorrow. And if they put him in the Hall of Fame, I'd be buying that DVD to see what Bammer, see a reflection of Bammer's career. I've only given you guys a piece of Bam Bam Bigelow's career. I've only given you a little bit. Damn it, there's so much more I could say here. Oh man, let's there's so much more I want to get out on this. Hang on one sec. There's got to be more. Bam Bam, Daddy. A legit badass in wrestling. Okay, I feel like I haven't reached the surface on what needs to be said on the man himself, Bam Bam. This guy, to reach the heights that he reached in the WWF, to main event of WrestleMania, WrestleMania 11, April 95 in Hartford. This event sucked. It sucked ass. And I hated seeing Lawrence Taylor wrestle in the main event, but I remember watching that day. I was 15 years old. And I remember watching, and I was so damn proud of Bigelow being in the profession for so long. And being around wrestling for so long. And I haven't watched a Bam Bam since I was a little tiny, teeny kid. And finally, I was so proud of him for being in that main event WrestleMania last match spot. And I think that that's what most fans are going to remember what Bammer for. I think most wrestling fans are going to remember Bammer for being in that last match and fighting with Lawrence Taylor and being a professional and doing the job and cracking Lawrence Taylor's ribs. I think that's what they're going to remember him for. But I think the real wrestling fans are going to remember him for being such a big guy and being so agile in the ring. So I just want to make this video on Bam Bam Bigelow, even if it's not so exciting. I know that the hardcore wrestling fans on here are going to enjoy the hell out of this. I'm Gemini, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Bam Bam Bigelow. I think I hit it all. I'm sure there's more. You know, he was around a long time and had a long career, but I didn't, research or do anything like that. I just wanted to go off the top of my head, my memory on Bam Bam Bigelow. So we did Luger this week, Owen Hart, and Bam Bam Bigelow. Gemini, I hope you enjoyed this. Bammer, he was a good one.